Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the Law of Attraction, Manifesting Success Stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello, and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and we are here with the class of 2025, group number 1. The other group is A. I'm excited to catch up with them today. So let's start with the two that you met last time. Kathleen, how much money are we celebrating that you manifested today?
We
Hi.
are celebrating, oh goodness, I should have put down the complete total, but it's something, it's going to take too
It's
long for
okay.
me to go
I want
into
to
the
think
thing.
it was about $4,700. Am I?
Yeah, it was about that. It was like above 4 grand. Yeah, it was like in the
Yay!
4,700. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. How does that feel?
It feels really great. Yeah,
Good.
it feels exciting and rather unexpected, but, but it feels good.
Yeah, tell us more about that. Have you been surprised?
Um, well, I joined the group to I joined Manifest 10K to have fun and see what would
Mhm.
happen. And oh my goodness, I'm sure we'll get into it a little later, but so much has happened, really big things. Um, and it's just it feels really good to like turn my mind to a way more abundant and positive place and to reap the results and benefits of that. So yeah, it feels very exciting and it's a trustworthy process.
Amazing. Well, I have it on the list right now, so let's share it. What is your favorite manifestation since our last interview?
Okay, well, my favorite manifestation is that I'm an actor and I booked a regular lead role in an upcoming television series directed by an Oscar nominated director. And this is like an absolute dream come true since I was like, 10 years old probably. So that's huge, huge, huge for me.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Super exciting.
I love it. And you also heard from Abby last time. Abby, what's your manifested total?
Um, well, it was, I think, for kind of the last month.
Yeah.
When I put it in, it was 1,700, but it's now 2,700. Just
Yay! That's awesome. I'm sure that we will talk more about that later. What has been your favorite manifestation since our last interview?
I think there's not one particular one because there's been, like Kathleen said, just so many weird, cool things that have happened. But all those little ones where I've just thought, oh man, I need a fiver. And then suddenly there's a fiver. And they're my absolute favourite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily all the big ones. It's just those ones that you think, if you just ask, then it's there. I love them.
Oh, I love those too. Those are my favorite. Awesome. And then I get to introduce you to Inez. Welcome, Inez, to our interview series.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're here. So, those of you listening, Inez joined about the middle of January. It's now April that we're recording this. Inez, what's your magic in the world, or tell us a little bit about you?
I've been a management consultant for 20 years, and until last October 2020, I have not really come across LOA. So I'm now tapping in, and it's my very first year of Law of Attraction in a more structured and continuous way. So I think it's, for me, the most exciting element is getting excited about small changes and getting excited about finding a penny. It just draws so much energy to me. It's really fabulous.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. And what's your money manifested total that we're celebrating today?
We are celebrating $1,754.53. And I think that's just really cool.
That is very cool. I love it. What's been your favorite manifestation so far?
So far, that just money really pops up everywhere, and I started to find money in my pockets or on the ground, which I thought would never happen to me. So that's just really brilliant.
Yay, that's awesome. I love it. Thank you for being here. Monica is next, and Monica has joined in about the end of January, so about 2 months. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here. What's your magic in the world? Maple syrup is one of them, which I love.
Yeah, it's been changing a lot in the last year. So
yeah.
I, for a long time, was a stay-at-home mom, and then I got my massage therapy license and started working, and then I stopped working for a while. And now that things are opening up again, it seems like it's time to start working again. And in the meantime, I've also started a cottage baking business. So I make highly decorative sugar cookies and just living my life, I guess, being a mom and doing my thing.
Amazing. That's so fun. I love that. And how did you come across me? How did we get connected?
I had heard a podcast several years ago that was a different LOA person, and then somehow found you and Ginny's podcast and then your podcast, and I've been listening for several years, and then like when I heard it enough times, like, hey, this is you, time to manifest it now. And I was one of the times it clicked, and I just started filling out the application, and here I am. So
that's awesome. I ask that because I love hearing those stories, and super fun. I love it. What was your experience with the Law of Attraction before you joined?
It was always just like little things, like when I would feel like I was doing Law of Attraction, that was in quotes. We would get a parking spot or dinner reservations, things like that. And I got a feeling that like of calm, of like things are going to work out. I don't know why or how, but eventually things will turn out good. So
yay, I love that.
Now it's been amplified.
Yay.
Much more right here. So.
I love it. So speaking of amplified, what's your money manifested total that we're celebrating today?
$6,716.01.
Yay. I love that. And what's your favorite manifestation so far?
Probably my favorite so far was what a large chunk of this was when we did our taxes this year. Like we did them, they were done. We sent them in, and they said, oh, you're going to get some money back. And we were like, oh, that's kind of exciting. And I thought, ooh, I manifested that. Well, then they changed something with the taxes. And I was getting ready to like do our state taxes because I had to pay in, and I was getting ready like to press the button of like, here's your $400 or whatever. And my CPA, who's a friend of mine, texted me at the time that I was on the screen and said, hey, they changed something in the taxes. And not only are you getting more back from federal, like you don't have to pay state, and they're giving you money back. And I was like, oh, I was just going to press the button and you like texted me as it was happening. So it was really bizarre. I mean, how many times do your taxes change after you've already done them? And
right.
Them in? That's crazy.
That is. So, oh, yay. That's awesome.
Super it was really fun.
Manifesting. I love that. Very cool. Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, good.
Hi. And Jennifer joined us at the beginning of January, so she's about 90 or so days in. What's your magic in the world, Jennifer?
I'm an attorney and a mom, and I don't know if I told you how I was introduced to you, Cassie, but can I tell that story?
I would love to hear that story.
So I used to listen to your podcast, and I was looking for direction on where to focus for the law of attraction stuff, almost like I was looking for a journal prompt kind of thing, because I just felt like I was all over the place. And so I bought your book, the Champagne Life book. And around, I did all the, the exercises in that, and it really came easy to me. But on one of your podcasts, you had started talking about the Pay Before You Manifest program, and I originally thought I didn't want to focus on money, and so I listened to what you said. I kind of kept it as at that, and then a few weeks later, I heard you talk about it again, and you said that manifesting with money is a good way to start because there's a lot of evidence there, and so that convinced me to join this program.
Yay, I love that. Amazing. And so what was your experience with with manifesting before in the law of attraction? Kind of trying to keep it all together, where to focus?
Yeah, I was sort of doing everything, like I'm one of those people that does like research and signs up for stuff and just does it all and trying to get the direction I'm looking for, but I never really had a plan. And I think that's been the biggest kind of difference so far, is being more focused and knowing where I'm going.
I love it. What's your total that we're celebrating today?
I am celebrating $23,770.42.
Yay! That's awesome. And what's been your favorite manifestation so far?
Well, so my favorite is that a group of colleagues and I have been putting our energy at work into getting the right people in our organization to review and increase our salaries. And it's been going on for a while, but we finally settled on sending an email to ask the head of our team for a discussion. But right before we sent the email, we received an announcement saying that HR was looking at where our team should be salary wise, and they were going to align our salaries. And they were talking with finance about where the money would come from if necessary. And so that one was really fun for me because it was so unexpected, yet such a direct response to something I asked for. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. I love that. You didn't even have to do any the work of figuring it out and owning it, but none of the other work.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. Start with Inez on this one. What's been your biggest aha so far?
That if I, let's say, let go and don't try to control how that opportunities pop up everywhere, I think that is something that is exciting and motivating and just gives me so much energy. And yeah, there are a lot of small stories, but I went on a vacation 2 weeks ago, and it was so incredible, awesome, and for me, the dream life that I wanted to have, and sharing this with my husband, and my husband actually also thinking about buying a vacation home in Mallorca in Spain, is just really, really amazing.
That's awesome. I love it. And Abby, I know a really big aha for you since our last interview has been feeling the feelings. Will you tell us more about that?
Oh, yeah, that's been my biggest thing. I think that since whenever I've ever used Law of Attraction and things, I felt I've got to be really positive. And you have bad days, don't you? Particularly over COVID. And I've kind of always been like, oh no, I've ruined it all. I'm messing it all up. And it's never going to work because I'm sad and all the rest of it. And thinking, oh no, it's back to day one. And that I've kind of ruined it somehow. And I think you frequently say it on the calls, when one of us asks something, and you always say, feel the feelings, acknowledge it and let it go, and don't be worried about that. And that's made a massive difference because I kind of can allow myself a bit of self-pity or whatever it is that I need, and just go, oh, thank you, that's great, I've done that now. And I don't feel like I've kind of ruined it. Do you know what? I think I felt it was a bit like a test before. You had to keep getting it right. And I don't feel that. And it's been so liberating, particularly in the last couple of months because my work is very affected by COVID. So every time we have uncertainty, which we have a lot over here, you know, it's kind of, it creates a huge ripple for me. So there are kind of a couple of times where I've just thought, oh, you know, it's all dreadful and it's all horrible, but I've allowed that. And I've allowed, you know, to have a bit of a cry. We call them leaky days in my house with my girls. To have a bit of a cry and feel a bit rubbish, and then go, well, that's okay, that's done, and I felt it and I've acknowledged it, and now I can move forward. And it's been so powerful. I can't tell you. And I would never have thought I would never have thought that would be a position I could get to. I thought you kind of had to work at it and get it right, and that was the goal, and it's not. And it's really surprised me.
Yay, that's amazing. I love that. And Monica, I know feeling the feelings has been a big aha for you as well. Will you share some about that with us?
Yeah, just the same things that Abby was saying, that it's just taking the time to not be like, oh, I shouldn't feel this, or this is silly, or whatever. Like, just own it and say, this is what I'm feeling right now. And then not making myself try to get over it, or like, there's been a couple of times where I was feeling feelings and I just let myself lay in bed and feel them and not be like, oh, but I should go for a walk. That'll make me feel better. Or I should go do the dishes, or I should do that. I just felt. And then when it was done, then I usually went and felt like doing those things, but I didn't make myself do things to change the feelings. And that was a big change for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Wendy, I know that trusting and letting go of constantly doing things is something that has been a big aha for you. What's changed because you're able to let go and not be in that constant do?
Yeah, I've definitely found that's a theme for me, is that I was trying to do more. If it wasn't working for me, I was always doing more. I was finding a different LOA podcast to listen to. I was reading another book. I was trying a different meditation. And like at one of the assignments in the program was just like, stop that. You're only doing this one now. And once you've done it, like, let it go. You've done the work. You don't have to control it from there. And that was a big thing for me because I was always trying to fix it, I guess.
Yes. Amazing. Did I get your how we connected?
I don't know. I found you years ago, I think, and read the Champagne book. And then I never signed up for the program or anything. And then I'm not sure how I found you this time. You just came back into my life, I guess, when I needed you. But I know I found yours and Jenny's podcast when I was listening to a different one. I think on Spotify, it suggested you. And I was like, oh, I remember Cassie. I read that book. And then this time, it just felt different. I was like, you should do it this time.
Yeah. I love that. And what's your magic in the world?
Well, I am a writer and a musician. And it's funny because when I was setting up my social, like, what do you call it? Your handle or whatever?
Yeah.
A few years ago for my music pages, a few years ago, I stepped out as a solo artist, and all the Wendy P music pages were already taken. So I made everything Wendy P is magic. So that's my magic in the world.
I love it. Oh, that's amazing. And what's the total that we're celebrating money-wise that you manifested today?
I am at $10,252.11.
Yay. What's been your favorite manifestation so far?
I would think the most surprising and the one that I kind of got excited about was I, like, a few days ago, got a PayPal deposit that was from a class action suit that I wasn't even aware of I was a part of, for an old internet company that had overcharged me. And it was like $70. And it was surprising. And I remember getting the notification and turning to my fiance and be like, I am really doing this. I just got random money in my PayPal.
Yay. That's awesome. I love it. Very cool. Jennifer, I know that you have changed a lot from really that analyzing that you talked a little bit about earlier. One of the ahas that you've had is, focusing on the outcome versus that analyzing. Will you tell us how that's changed and updated things in your life?
Yeah, for me, it's much like Wendy said, learning to let things go. So being okay and knowing that I don't have to research everything or sign up for courses or even figure things out. Um, and so when I step back and just sit in the moment, it's so much easier. And I've realized that when I keep doing that research, I'm really telling the story that I don't want, and I end up stuck in that situation.
That's a huge aha. I love that.
Yeah.
And it probably makes life a lot easier to not be continually doing all that research, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and so the example that I kind of thought of recently was feeding my family. Like I became convinced that my kids were eating terribly and I had to change it before they had health issues. So I researched picky eating, I signed up for courses, I signed up for meal plans, and really none of that changed the situation at all. And it just added stress. So once I let go of the struggle to figure it out, I could focus on the story I wanted. And I realized that what I wanted was just happy meal times where we come together as a family. And I'm not going to lie, it's not perfect, but it feels so much better to be in that space.
Yay, that's awesome. I love it. And Kathleen, one of the biggest ahas I know is a big one for all of these are big for all our listeners, but will you talk to us about debt being neutral?
Yeah, that was a big aha for me is the emotional charge that I have around debt can be zero. There can be zero emotional charge around it. I think you just blatantly said it to me one day, just debt is neutral. You don't have to feel any one way because, I mean, I don't have to go so much into the old story, but um, whenever I had money, I'd pay back the debt and I'd feel good about that. But then there'd be more debt because I was feeling good about paying off the debt. So learning, and there's still lots of room to grow with this practice because it feels very new. So I feel like I'm kind of like tightrope walking with it, but in a fun way, like in a sort of like curious ooey gooey kind of way. Where yeah, there's just a lot of things to learn, but I'm really excited to keep practicing the just really focusing on what I want and not giving any emotional energy to the debt and focusing on the abundance that's around me. And as I grow with that, there's so many possibilities. So I keep that in mind when I'm having tougher days with it. But yeah, it's really exciting.
Yay. Such a big aha. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Inez.
Yeah, just tapping into this topic, I think what I absolutely loved about the program is that when it comes to old stories, that we don't have to, hyper analyze and go into depth of all the old stories, but we can just let them be and say, okay, I can start a new story from a blank page. I don't have to put any energy and effort in detangling the old stories. I just, stop it, start with a blank page and move forward. And for me, that was just so freeing and relieving to just let them be and focus on something else. I love that approach.
Yay. Awesome. I love it. Fabulous. And Inez, you're actually next up for we'll talk a little bit about evidence. We're really big on evidence and it's happening. So Inez, I love this evidence that you had from your accountability partner, which you might have already shared, but it is huge evidence. So let's share it again.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm currently working on building a business for me so that I can help female management consultants to thrive in their career so that we can get more women on director and partner level and management consultants. And for this, I'm working on a program to develop online courses. And the accountability partner who picked me said he would like to work with me. And by the way, in his background, he is supporting businesses or entrepreneurs from moving from 6-digit to 7-digit businesses, and said, okay, for me, starting a business, that's just brilliant.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Abby, what's big evidence or the coolest piece of evidence that you've seen since our last interview?
I think I put on my the form that it's all the little things. Like I said before, that's like massive evidence for me. I'm naturally not a very trusting, quite a cynical person, and yeah, just that I've had like all those little things. There was one about when I had to go and fill up my tires, and someone left like enough air in the machine for me to fill them up. And I think that, yeah, for me, that's my coolest and my biggest bits of evidence. But linking back to what I said before, a massive piece of evidence that I got. I had one of my Feel the Feelings days just a couple of days ago, and yeah, a bit leaky, and just you couldn't find any joy in anything. And my partner's so brilliant, and he kind of took me out, and I was so miserable, and he just kind of let me be miserable. And then on the way home from the car, I was like, oh, what would Cassie say? And she would say, you know, it will happen. And I got back and checked my emails, which I hadn't done, you know, all day. And 3 of my schools that I work with have rebooked things that have been cancelled because of COVID, which is massive, because with working in schools, we've had over a year now of not being allowed in them. I thought that's really cool evidence, isn't it? I just kind of sat in the car and I was like, well, it'll happen. And I trust it. And, you know, they came in and I was like, yeah, that's really cool, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. And Monica, how about you? What's the coolest piece of evidence that you've seen?
This is one that happened to my husband, but I took it as evidence for myself.
Yeah.
He had been really frustrated at work and overworked, and he just took a couple weeks where he just said, forget it. And he was sleeping in and going in late, and he was taking long lunches, and he came home like there were some beautiful weather days, and he took PTO and just left and came and hung out with me and my daughter, and we went to the park and fly kites and did all these things. So this had been a couple weeks that he was doing this, just because he was like, I am burnt out, I'm not feeling it, I'm going to do things that make me happy. And then he got a phone call on Friday afternoon from his boss, and I was sitting right next to him, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get yelled at, whatever. No, they were calling to tell him that he was now eligible for a $10,000 bonus. He was part of an elite leadership team that they only pick a certain number of people in his ginormous company. And that's what, I don't know, that's what I thought was just hilarious, that I'm like, see, Dave, as soon as you take care of yourself, then it's all going to come back to you, because he was, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Explain it anymore, but it was really fun to watch. And I was like, there you go, it's happening. Just like, trust yourself, trust your feelings. So,
yes. Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. Wendy, what's the biggest way that you've grown and shifted? I know there was something to do with a spa treatment, which I loved that story.
Yeah, so I have like a little bit of a social anxiety around like asking for things, even if I've paid for them. So, but I'm working through that. But I just joined a new gym, and I have the package that includes the like spa area of the gym. So it's something that I pay for, that I've earned with my money. But I had only used one thing, and I got comfortable asking for that. And I wanted to ask for the new thing that was available. I was like brushing my teeth, and I'm like, why am I having so much anxiety about just asking for what I deserve? Is that how my future self would behave? And I said, no, she would just, we still have the mic. Okay. She would just go ask for it. It's not a big deal. And once you do that, then it's going to be something you already did, and you won't have this feeling about it anymore. And so it was just funny that instead of like just forcing myself to do it, I said, is this the person? Is the person that I want to be like that? And she's not. And I'm not that person that is scared to do that. So,
Yay. That's awesome. I love it. Kathleen, talk to us about how you've grown into a higher trust.
Well, I think trust for me is a big piece of evidence and a good exercise. So I tend to like want to work hard and do more and like be enough, you know? And actually, you know, like so many of you have been saying that it's really about, you know, feeling the feelings. You're not going to attract bad things if you feel bad. And letting go and surrendering and trusting. And again, with this, there's still a lot of space to grow, but it's a big, like I've come really far in just trusting. And I feel like trust is like the baseline that is always there and always accessible. And sometimes I just need to uncover it. And I'm learning more and more working with you that, and I also work with Ginny as well, that I can always forever fall back on trust. Like even when everything seems like there's an upheaval and there's nothing else to hold on to, there is always trust.
Yeah.
So that's really great.
It is great.
Yeah.
I love that. Jennifer, I know that a big way that you've, grown and shifted is really putting energy into the story that you want, even when it's hard. Will you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So I guess a couple things. I mean, for me, I've been able to put my energy into the story I want, especially when I wasn't sure I could do it. And it's sort of like when you've done all you can think of and nothing's improving the situation.
Mhm.
Like, you're having the same fight or getting stuck in the same situation. And it's then that I know that I could choose to change my story and think of the result that I want and almost like starve out all the thoughts or the past stories that come up.
Yes.
And I think that's been hard in certain situations. And I find it comes up a lot when dealing with people. Like my mom, we have this like boundary thing with the kids that's been a long time fight. And instead of going back to control the outcome and tell her she's wrong, I've been focusing more on what I want instead. And it's really made a big difference. It's interesting.
Yay, that's awesome. I love the way this stuff works. Abby, what's been your biggest growth since our last interview?
Stepping into my future self, 100%. What Wendy said just like totally resonated. I'm so bad at just asking for things that are mine and stuff like that. And it's crazy. Yeah, when I've paid for something, if it's wrong, I've been in a restaurant before and I've got the wrong meal and I'm vegetarian, so I got stuff I won't eat. And I've gone, oh, I'll be all right, I just eat round it, thinking, no, I've paid for this. And I've had quite a few of those future self moments later. I step back and go, no, my future self doesn't behave that way. And my future self steps up and does that. So Clubhouse has been brilliant for my future self because, you get on the stage and just ramble about yourself, which is a brilliant subject, isn't it? And I would never have done that before, not in a million years. I absolutely wouldn't. And I love it. I really, really love it. And I had a moment with my sister as well, and we sometimes have a bit of a kind of rub each other up the wrong way. And I was talking about my journey with you, and because the thing I love best about it is the new story. And I was saying about this, I was saying what's been so freeing is I can just say I write a new story and that's it, and I haven't got to go over it. And she very much comes from the other side of it, and she was like, well, that's not going to work, and you have to kind of dissect everything in detail, and that's great for her. But she was really, it won't work. And I was just like, well, my new story is I don't have to listen to that. And that was it. And I was like, yeah. It's like 42 years. It's taken me.
That's awesome. I love it. Monica, tell us how your confidence has grown and what that has changed in your life.
It just is a shift of feeling that I am worthy, I am able to do things. That's a change from what my inner dialogue or inner monologue has been for a large portion of my life. And it's just led me to be more calm in situations, in conversations, and putting myself out there with starting a new business and just all those kinds of things.
I love it. Amazing. Inez, I know that you have grown a lot in your relationship with money. Will you tell us about what it used to be and what it is now?
Yes, this was a tremendous growth. Before that, my story was I was absolutely scared of money, scared of having money, and scared of having not enough money. So money was always something bad. And now and what I'm continue to work on is just really enjoy money, becoming relaxed and love that money is flowing to me. And I think that shift and that really being more relaxed and joyful about money is something that just frees up so much stuff, and it's just so relaxing and wonderful, and it's amazing.
Yay, I love that. I love everything that you all have shared today. Thank you so much for sharing these moments in your journey with us. And thank you all for listening. Make sure to come back and check out our next episode with this group of amazing women next time.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.